And a very good morning to you. My name is Antoinette Nirvana, and you're listening to the Body and Mind interviews. Today, Body and Mind is talking to Penny de Villiers. Penny is one of our members, and Body and Mind is your health and wellness online directory for professionals. Penny, welcome today. Now, you're a life coach and ACT therapist, ACT therapist, and so we're looking forward to chatting to you and finding out a little bit about you. Good morning.
Good morning, and good morning, all those tuned in.
Great. So, yeah, we hope that we're going to get a nice, clear interview and chat with you today. So, firstly, I want to say your slogan says "Get coached, get unstuck, and take action." So, that's what we all sometimes are so procrastinating in life and needing that someone who can support us by giving us tools to go through that. But before we go into coaching and what that is about and giving us the benefits about this. Give us a little bit more about who's Penny de Villiers. Give us your background and how did you get into doing coaching?
Um, I actually studied marketing, and as one does, you don't always go directly into that career. And I ended up in the recruitment industry for many years. And I think that's where the coaching really took off for me because people would come to you looking for opportunities, looking to create change in their lives, looking to change their careers or their jobs, and they're also quite miserable with their bosses. Or so at a very early age, I started working with people, helping them to define what their next step in their life was and how they could sometimes change careers or change companies. So I think that's where the coaching thing started off for me. And I then went into marketing full time, and then the strategic side of working with CEOs and people who wanted to work out where their next step was on a more marketing strategic level. But that's all about knowing yourself and knowing where you want to get to. So I think those principles have been embedded in my journey, the concept of uncovering problems and finding solutions. And over the last 2 years, I've spent quite a bit of time. I've just finished writing my book called The Woman Who Came Home, Walking Back into My Life. And that's a memoir and a self-help book, helping people to really, a lot of people tell you to love yourself and know thyself. And so that book has really been a way forward for me and in sharing my story with people on how to, like you say, get unstuck and move forward. And that's where I am today.
Wow, that's great, wonderful, and that's amazing how our path from very early age actually we've got these markers that shows us, how we will support each other and as well as then creating that tools for other people. So okay, now we want to talk about life coaching. So use a life coach to explore your inner world and live a life with clarity and focus. So why do we choose a life coach?
I think events, situations, experiences happen to all of us. And the effects of these things is that we feel we can't move forward. We know we're stuck. Sometimes it's the pain, that debilitating sense of failure, or even a big disappointment or a heartbreak. And many cases, it's fear that paralyzes us. And I find these to be the reasons that people draw on me as a coach. They want to find a way forward. They need to get their feet walking in the sort of direction of the kind of life that they want to lead, and be the kind of person they want to be. So I have people coming to me with their dreams. I can remember my client, Dr. Stan Heckford, a few years ago. I met him, and he was in an ice cream factory, and he was a management consultant there in his gumboots, and we had a cup of horrible coffee together. And he said, Penny, I want to be a lecturer at Harvard. And I had to look beyond his current situation to where he wanted to be. And we've worked side by side, and he's so close today to reaching that dream. And that's what I like to do. I like to work together with people to get them where they want to go to.
That's wonderful, and that really doesn't matter whether you just coming, out of school or out of college. I think that could really benefit anybody at any stage of their life, at any age of their life. A lot of people are going into retirement and saying, "Okay, what do I do now?" And this is also a very good time then to contact a coach and somebody like yourself to say, "Okay, what do you want to do? What's your passions?" Isn't it?
Yeah, a lot of people come, they've got a problem. They come in that either their problem is they want to achieve something that they can't get to, or I think in the old day, we always sort of coaches sort of, you wanted to win the Olympics, or you wanted to win a race, or you wanted to be in the first team rugby team, or whatever your goals were. There was something in your heart that you wanted, and you wanted somebody to be by your side to get you to achieve that thing that in your heart you knew you wanted. And I think that's why the whole rise of life coaches has come up. I mean, a good life coach should get you to where you want to go to. And if you don't know where that is, you just feel stuck in your life, then you need to have a look at the elements that are standing in your way. What is stopping you from doing that thing that you want to do?
Yeah, that's correct. And so then also the other question is the benefits of using a life coach. And you've got a couple that I saw on your biography on the Body and Mind website. So can you kind of articulate that for us? What is the benefits, for using a life coach?
Yeah. I think the benefits of a life coach sort of differ from person to person and as to why they get there. But I think a lot of people that come feel hopeless in their situation. There's nothing worse than having a dream and you're not living it. Or there's nothing worse than having your heart broken and you feel so paralyzed in your life that from heartache that you feel like you can't enter into another relationship. So I think a lot of the benefits of coaching is where you're at and where you want to get to. And that is what a life coach does. They bridge you over or take you down the road from whatever your situation is.
Yeah, I see here that it says help you make better decisions and get clear and focused, recognize limiting beliefs, reframe your thinking, overcome setbacks, tap into your courage to handle change. And I think that's one of the big things is to be able to take that leap and to put that change in your life.
I think a lot of us live our lives on the periphery of our situation. So we sort of get sucked into the situation and we're not able to really see what is that situation doing to me? How am I feeling? How am I breathing? How am I coping? Why am I not sleeping? How is this situation impacting my life? So for some people, having a drink, for example, every night might be fine because it doesn't impact their lives. But for that other person, the drink could lead to 20 drinks, and then that starts to steal from their family life and their jobs. So coaching is very personal because one behavior for one person might be fine, and for the other person, that behavior might be having a very negative impact on their lives. And so it's a personal process to have somebody sit with you. It's such a fantastic feeling to have a look at your life. And actually, it's like a garden. You get the garden fork out and you start working in the soil of your life and you start planting and toiling and you pull out the weeds and you start to flourish. And it's a very exciting process.
That's a lovely way, very, very lovely way of putting it, and also just knowing that it's time for you to really take a good look at yourself. I also see here that you're an ACT therapist, and I just wanted to quickly you tell me what is the ACT therapist, and what is the benefits of doing an. I've never heard of an ACT therapist, so that would be great if you could tell us about that.
ACT therapy is also a segment of behavioral therapy, and it stands for acceptance and commitment therapy. So acceptance, to make it simple, acceptance is that unless we can accept our circumstances, we very seldom can move forward. Whether the circumstances are good or bad, we need to accept that they're real. And then we need to change those things that we can change, and then live with those things that we can't. So many times that's why I love ACT, is that instead of being in a whirlwind of the problems you have, you start to really analyze them and say, well, look, these are the things I can change. That person over there, I can leave them, or I have to deal with them because they're my boss. So I've got some choices. So ACT looks at what I can accept to change, and then the commitment. So the commitment side of the therapy is committing to the things then that you want to change, because in order to create change in your life, or to see that difference or get the results you want, there is action that needs to be taken. And to me, having hope in life is taking action. And without action, we can't change those things. And sometimes that's what you need. You need a therapist, a coach, somebody by your side helping you to take that brave, courageous action that in the bottom of your heart you often know you have to take.
Yeah.
It's a therapy that really taps into who you are and helps you to tap into who you are, to be real at the base of to tap into your feelings. I write in my book, and it's the way I lived my life for many, many years, is that we live it on the periphery because you're fighting. It's like being in war. When you go to war, you go away from your center, you go away from your home, if you want to call it, and you're out there in the trenches and you're fighting. And you're not at home with yourself. You're out fighting the battles. And so when life becomes very difficult, you almost disconnect from yourself. And this leaves you feeling so isolated and alone. But you're out there fighting because there's a war going on in your life. And when you turn around, you're so far away from who you are, and knowing yourself, and even being compassionate. With most of us are just so nasty and rude and say such horrible things to ourselves that, that's what you've got to tap in. That's what the ACT therapy goes back to self-compassion and acceptance. And then you start taking action to be the kind of person you want to be, to create the kind of life you want to live.
That sounds amazing. I think, yeah, we're all very guilty of that. I certainly know that I am, and I am very hard on myself, and that's yeah, that's a very good thing, is to acknowledge those things. And what is that sobriety thing that they use at the 12-step program? Accept the things you cannot change. That one. Anyway, so yeah, we are coming to the end of our discussion, and really very, very interesting. Um, the last thing we would like to just ask you is, how can people get in contact with you for a session? How does that work? Is it an hour sessions? Do you do Skype interviews or Skype sessions as well? So if you can give us your contact details, please.
Okay. Well, I think that's the exciting thing about technology, is that can do either audio sessions or Skype sessions with people. I generally find that between 30 minutes to 45 minutes is enough, because it's intensive talking about these things and going through these things. So the sessions are about 45 minutes. And I love Skype. I love because we can deal with people. My client, for example, the example I gave you, he's now in Dubai. So we can continue to work together as partners on this coaching journey, even though he's not in the same country. So my Skype address is live. What do you call those two? Those dots.
Colon.
Colon. Thank you. Live colon Penny 6902. So it's live colon Penny 6902. And all my details are on my website, which is www.coachingonline.co.za. Our practice is here in Constantia, Cape Town. I have a separate practice, lovely lounge with gorgeous trees and privacy and very birds singing out in the trees. It's a very relaxing environment. If you are in Cape Town and you want to have a face-to-face, then that's also possible. So you just give me a contact, or you can text me on my WhatsApp me on 083 302 4948.
Great, and
I can't always get back to people straight away.
yes, of course. Sorry, Penny, for interrupting you. So I will just repeat that quickly. The contact number is 0833024948, coachingonlinesa@gmail.com. And then, of course, you can go to the Body and Mind website, which is where all our members and professional people are listed, and you can just go into the search bar. You can either put in coaching or you can put in Penny de Villiers, and her details will come up if you were not able to get any of those information down. So Penny, thank you very much for chatting. I think maybe hopefully sometime in the future maybe we can have a little bit more in-depth about coaching, and that we can extend these conversations to people so that they get a better feel of what it's about. So, yeah, thank you for today, and hopefully we can chat to you again.
And I think you just repeated that telephone number incorrectly there. Apologies. Yeah.
Okay, 0833024948.
02, it's 04.
Ah, there's an extra two. Okay, so would you repeat that, please?